Alrighty, so we're live again. It's been a little bit. I think last week we streamed on like Tuesday or something. I am on camera, by the way. Hello. That's right. I have to bring the other camera out here or do something. But one camera is good enough, especially for tonight. We've got a couple things in store. If you can't tell, I'm working on this P5 test bench. Thermaltake kindly sent over a P5 for me to use. And I figured it would make actually a pretty great test bench after looking at all my options and Hank telling me I couldn't use half of them. So actually, let me turn something off really quick. Hopefully that reduces some background noise in a second here when the heater turns off. Sorry about that. But yeah, the P5 is from Thermaltake. We've got dual loops going in here, as you can tell. Daniel from Singularity was super nice and gave me two D5 pump res combos. The whole purpose of this is obviously for testing hardware, specifically water cooling hardware such as like blocks and actually radiators, which I can flip around and show you guys in just a bit here what that's all about. But I was kind of just going to go into the modding a little bit here. As you can see, I put this aluminum panel over the whole front of the case, or most of the front of the case. It is 2 millimeter thick aluminum. Please, heater, shut off. I'm sorry if it's loud. Matt is super quiet. Am I louder yet? I should be talking into the microphone. I'm sorry if I'm quiet. I shut the heater to off, so it should shut off at any second here. Otherwise, I don't know what's wrong with it. But yeah, going on. The P5 has this whole aluminum cover over it. And what I'm going to show you guys first tonight is how I've actually attached this aluminum panel to the front of the case. So first trivia question for you guys, because there will be more coming with this Barrow giveaway. I got a couple blocks to give away tonight. So first trivia question, this is just a warm up. Can you guys tell me what this actually is? So this is going to go along with what we're actually going to be using tonight. It's a rivet, exactly. Good job. So here, 1 second. I gotta mute the microphone. Okay, well, we just had to use the garage door really quick. I apologize for the delay, but let's keep moving forward. Someone said a rivet. Great job on that. You're pretty sharp. Hopefully you win a block tonight. More trivia to come. But what we're using tonight actually is not a rivet. It's called a rivnut. So this is what it looks like. Pretty similar. The tool is actually almost identical to what a rivet gun is. This is a rivnut gun. Works pretty similarly, not quite the same, but I will actually be doing how-tos on how to use rivets and rivnuts, like an actual YouTube how-to video. In the future here, we're going to be getting some rivet guns and rivnut guns at PVC, so you guys can just buy them all there if you'd like, and once that happens, I'll make you guys a little video. But I was just going to show you guys really quick how to actually just use a rivnut, or how I'm doing it on the P5, at least for attaching a panel to, like, say another panel in your case, which is exactly what we're doing here. Just happens to be almost the entire case because it's a P5. But, okay, so what we're doing, this thing is actually quite heavy even though it's not even full. But we gotta put one more rivnut, or I want to put one more rivnut up here on, I don't know, the right side, I guess you'd call it. So, let me get the camera a little better position for you guys. Maybe a little taller will help. It's a Rivnut. I know, it's kind of fun to say. It's a little bit of a weird word, but enjoy it. Don't ruin it, please. So, okay, we're going to put one more right here. I just like it because, I mean, it's honestly secured, and it really might not need it at all, but I'd rather it be there and not need it than not be there and need it, if you know what I'm saying. So, first things first, when you're doing it like this, because what we want to do is go through this panel. This panel is just where the screw goes. I can show you with one of them that I have done already. Right up here, you can see there's a screw. So, ooh man, it's in there. Please don't strip. I really tightened that earlier, apparently. She's starting to move. Oh yeah, I remember this one was tough. I had to grind down that Rivnut a little bit. But there you go. So it unthreads after you put a little elbow grease into it. And the whole reason why I want to use these for this case specifically is because, I mean, you could just straight up drill a hole into this steel case. It is decently thick steel. TT did pretty good with construction of this case. However, those threads, like when you just drill a hole and thread it, there's only so many. I mean, what, you're getting like 3 or 4 threads total with M3 or M4 screws. So you really kind of limit yourself, and you can run the risk of actually stripping that out eventually after using it too much. Whereas a Rivnut has, like this almost entire length of this tube is threading, and this is a steel, stainless steel Rivnut. So it is actually pretty good threads, and there's a lot more of them. It's not going to corrode or nothing like that. So overall, it's just a more secure way to fasten, you know, something with screws or bolts. I guess beyond that, what I have to say is, if you're going through a panel like this, and you don't have something that already has a hole in it, say you just want to attach something to this face with a Rivnut, then you do need, what I do is I start with the hole that is about the size of the screw. So we're using 632 screws here actually, which for those I like to use, what is it, I think a 9/64? No, 5/32 bit. So I'm going to drill the first hole through both materials with the 5/32 bit, because this is what the screw will fit through. The aluminum, we only need the screw to fit through it, so that's why I'm going with that. Then afterwards, we use a bigger drill bit to drill out the hole for the Rivnut itself, because as you can tell, it's much larger than that hole. So something that's really kind of helpful, especially when you're dealing with metal and you want to drill holes and you don't want to miss, pick up a punch, and we're just going to punch this really quick, because you never know how wobbly you can be. So there we go. Now we won't miss. TLDR is fine. Well, what's happening? What do you need a TLDR of? How to use a Rivnut gun? You're getting the just you showed up version, so sorry. I don't know why I keep grabbing the Rivnut gun. We're not ready for it yet. But here we go. We're just going to use the 5/32 bit. We're going through both the aluminum panel and the steel here, so it's going to take a second, and it will be a little bit loud. Okay, so we made it through. Easy enough. Now we actually have to remove the panel, and I left all the screws in that I've actually gotten in so far, which is all the rest of them. I think there's like 9 or 10 in total. So it's fastened pretty securely. This is my first time using Rivnuts actually, and I was honestly pretty impressed by how well these hold the panel on. And as I said, it overall gives you just a better thread to screw into, just because the Rivnut is so much larger and thicker than the actual steel panel. So just kind of a tool you can add to your arsenal. They're really not that expensive, and they won't be from us either. Rivnuts aren't even that expensive. I can show you guys how to use just a regular rivet gun too. Rivet guns are actually just fine. I mean, removing rivets, because I mean, rivets aren't removable. Once you put a rivet in something, there's no way to easily remove it besides drilling it out, which actually, in my opinion, is not that hard. If you've ever modded any like modern case, you've probably drilled out rivets. So that's not even bad, and they're cheap. So I mean, if you really wanted to redo something, you could just drill it out and then replace the rivet. However, rivnuts kind of act in a similar way, except for the fact that you can just screw on the panel or whatever it is you're attaching. So now I gotta move this whole panel. It'll all come off in one piece here, and it's just really heavy, and I have to put it off to the side. So give me a second. Oh, I should remove the motherboard, I suppose. That would help. It does hold it down just a wee bit. It says nuts. I mean, there are nuts involved. Rivnuts. So, enjoy. Matt is about to bust a rivnut. Lordy, you people. You guys, I'm on all the chats. This is all you're saying. I didn't really think it would be that entertaining. So when I make this video on YouTube, is that going to be all the comments on the video? Is just rivnut and nut and all the different ways you can think of saying nut? Dude, I just made somebody die if they have to take a tequila shot every time. Oh man, come on. Motherboard screw, please. I hate it when they do this. It's like it strips out. But it didn't, so we're good. I shall set this off to the side. And now we can remove this front panel, which is pretty large and heavy. I'm going to take some of myself. And I do. Okie dokie. So as you can see, we drilled through both panels. The reason why I wanted to do it like that with doing it both at the same time is that way you know for a fact that your rib nut is going to line up with your front panel hole. Just kind of an easy way to make sure you don't miss, because if you put this rib nut just off a little bit, then your hole in the front ain't going to do you any good, and I don't know what you're going to do then. So don't miss, folks. It's a bad idea. Okay, so because I don't have an actual specific drill bit size for this, the ideal size for these would be, let's see, what would that be? Just under 5/16. So what? I think they said like roasting rivnuts by the fire. But I just have 1/4 and 1/4 stuck. But I just have 1/4 and 5/16, and it's right in between there that you actually want to use. So what I do is I'll just grab my step bit right after I drill it out, and my step bit will get it just the right size. So this is our, what is this, 1/4 inch drill bit. So there, it's actually really close. As you can tell, the rib nut just doesn't quite go in. Like it's real close. So if someone would have to look that up. The size between 1/4 and 5/16. I can't maths right now. I'm trying to do too many things. But if you wanted to pick up a specific drill bit for that, you can. Or if you just have a nice step bit set, which you can actually pick up from us. We have, I think, the same set. This step bit right here will do the trick real nicely. So we're just going to go one size bigger. You can see it just dropped down once. And it's a good idea to check the hole if it's rough, because it'll mess with your rib nut. However, don't do it with your fingers. I already sliced my hand open 3 times today doing that. It's a not suggested method of checking. Use your eyeballs. Not physically though, just look at them through your eyeballs. and make sure there's no stuff under there. I felt it with my finger again because I don't learn. There's nothing under there though, so we're all good. And now the Rivnut will fit just nicely. So we can get out our handy dandy Rivnut gun. 9:30 seconds is between. Okay, thank you, Mr. Real Rodimus. You're the hero. I'd almost give you a giveaway item, but I've already got trivia questions for that. And technically, I don't know if I believe you. But you take your Rivnut. I should have showed you this. You just thread it on. It comes with different threads in the kit, so you have different sizes. This one was a Imperial one. We're getting metric ones, but it all goes on the same. They all work pretty much the same way. So you thread on your Rivnut all the way to the end here, and then it works pretty similarly as a rivet gun in this sense, because you just stick it in the hole. Yep, you stick your Rivnut in the hole, and then all you're going to do is compress the handle until it's like really hard, and it is pretty hard all the way down anyways. These are steel Rivnuts, so you're bending steel. It's fun. But I'll show you guys pretty much the rest of it. All you want to do is make sure you keep this head as flat as you can while you're closing it down, and we'll just go from there. So that's probably plenty. Rivets snap off once you get them far enough. Rivnuts do not. So you take your little handle here and you just start unscrewing it, because that's all you got to do now is you unscrew that from the Rivnut, and boom, it's in. And I noticed that maybe it's just this gun or something. They don't always come out perfectly flush or flat, so it's going to be really loud really quick because we're going to use this handy dandy tool called a hammer, and it's going to flatten it right out. So headphone warning, 3, 2, 1. That's pretty good. Dude, you have no idea how many uses you can come up for a hammer with PC building. Like, people probably wouldn't guess you need a hammer, but you definitely need a hammer. Oh, Hank just missed it. Warning for hammer, but not drill. The drill is not as loud as the hammer, dude. That was really loud. So, Hank, we just installed our Rivnut. I was just going to show them how to do one. Now I'm going to go get the rest of the bench back here. As you can see, I kind of just cut out a lot of the P5. They sent me too much case, I think. But no, we got this panel, and now it should be securely mountable with all of our handy dandy Rivnuts. If you guys want to see more on that stuff, the Rivnuts and the rivets, as I said, wait for our video on YouTube. We'll definitely get that up as soon as we get those in stock. So this panel just kind of goes on. It's just really heavy. And imagine that. It all lines up still. Who'd have thunk it? I made something that actually fits for once. I need my sweatshirt. Okay, so now we just take our nice little 632 screws here. I don't know if I should get black ones or not. These ones were stainless. I don't know if I like it, but as you can see, it threads right into our Rivnut just nicely. And there you go. So I'm going to put most of these back in here so we can get going on some acrylic tube bending, as that is what's next on the agenda for tonight. I got some SC acrylic. Febby isn't in here, is he? No. I got to email Daniel after this. I emailed him last night and I was like, dude, I think I'm almost out of SC tubing, or your acrylic tubing. And I went and I dug through my bin and organized some things again today, and I found like 3 more packs. So I gotta let him know I'm probably good on tubing, actually. Poor guy. Wow, your PW was sad to sell it over the weekend. The server rack. Oh boy. Menards for the win. I know. Like I said, I kind of want our rivet gun, or our Rivnut guns. The rivet gun that I have is pretty much identical to the one we ordered. I think it's yellow and everything. But this one is an Imperial Rivnut gun, which is honestly, you can actually just switch out the little threaded inserts there, and boom, you have metric. However, this one only came with an Imperial because, yeah. So metric would be more ideal. I do like metric more than imperial. You can argue with me if you want, but you're never gonna win. I run out of screws. Oh no, there's two over here. So I suppose now that we got one of our tasks done, we could do a trivia question for a block. We have 2 Barrow blocks to give away tonight. If you guys want to look them up, I didn't put them in the description because it would make the trivia questions easier. So the first one we'll give away is going to be the Barrow Energy series for Intel. For Intel 11.5X specifically, actually. It's the one that looks like the Iron Man chest, the reactor coil thingamajig. I don't know my superheroes that well. But yeah, that's the first block we're giving away tonight. It's a pretty dope looking block. It's RGB and everything. So to win it, all you have to do is answer the trivia question in chat that I'm about to ask you. Whoever answers it first, in whatever chat you may be in, Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. I'm watching them all. I should be. Arc reactor, yeah. They call it the Energy series, so you guys can look it up if you want. Might help with trivia. But to win, like I said, just answer this question, and I guess here goes. What sockets specifically is it compatible with from Intel? So it says 11.5X, but please tell me specifically which sockets. Nope, 11.5X doesn't work, buddy. 11.5.6, that's one down. Come on, somebody's got to get it all on a list. You guys got to list them out. There is no 11.5.7. You're cheating now. You can't just say 11.5X. Okay, there we're starting. There is no 11.5.8 either. Where are you guys getting these numbers from? Oh boy. Okay, the question is, what sockets does it fit specifically? This Barrow Intel 11.5X Energy series. So I want the specific sockets. There's a few or more. So tell me what. Ooh, that's the closest one yet. Nori and Keepin were both real close. There we go. Pandages. You've never won either. I haven't seen you here before. So nice work. If you want to look it up, it is on the website, the Barrow Intel Energy Series block. We can send that out to you. All you got to do is shoot me an email. Can someone put my email in the chat? Off or somebody? I think everybody knows it. Oh, it's look at you, buddy. Okay, well, you know where to find me. Just shoot me a message. Sorry I haven't replied to your messages. I had to do this, obviously. But yeah, so good job on that. You were the first person to actually be able to list all 4 11.5X sockets. I'm sort of sad that it took that long, but good job anyways, everybody. Maybe next time. I came in late. I'm sorry. There's going to be another giveaway for a Barrow 2080 block, so you'll have to check that out once we get there. As I said, up next we have some SC acrylic tubing bending, so that's going to be pretty fun here. Pretty simple bends, but I just kind of wanted to do some more bending with you guys, as you can never get enough. I don't think I've actually done a specific how-to on acrylic from Singularity. I think I'm going to move the camera too. But I probably should at this point. Singularity, as I said, was nice enough to give me the pump res combos, as well as the tubing. They've given me this tubing over a couple projects, so that's why I thought I was missing some, but indeed I am not. I have plenty. So we've got like 4 packs here. All we got to do though is we're doing the pump res in and outs in hardline, so that's technically all that's going to be hardline on this rig. We have these 2 soft tube barbs on here. They are soft tube compression fittings that go to the CPU block, and then for the GPU loop I will be drilling 2 ports right here that will have soft tubing to go up into the GPU block. I'm just waiting to get that. It is actually a pretty sick block. If Rod, not Rodimus, but Rod from BS Mods is in here, he made me a sick GPU block. So hopefully getting that this week, I think, and be able to put that in. Those will be soft tubing though, and then we have, so these are technically the ins, so they go back into the reservoirs. On this side we have the pump top outs to do. So they are just simple 90s, but as far as I'm concerned, when I'm setting up a loop, especially with bends, and then you got triangled fittings and all that good stuff, and if you are able to place the ports at all, I do my best to use everything I can to just make it every bend, if I do have to bend, just a 90-degree bend. Makes it way easier on you. You don't, like, I can bend 90s all night long here, so as I'll show you, I've got some water right here. Maybe I'll back up the camera a little bit so you guys get a better angle. There you go. I think we'll just do some bends on the P5 basically. This is a nice 90-degree angle actually. And we'll grab our insert. So it's 16-12 millimeter acrylic tubing. You guys haven't seen it before. Daniel uses it exclusively, I'm sure. I've been using it now since like last spring, I think, is when I first started picking it up. It's really nice stuff. It bends really easy as far as I'm concerned. It definitely has the higher bending temperature required because it is acrylic tubing, but overall it's pretty nice to work with. It acts a lot like PETG from my experience. So I've used quite a few different PETG tubing brands and sizes and whatnot, and I can definitely say that this acrylic tubing is a lot like PETG. And I've used some acrylic tubing that just isn't that fun to work with as well. So I don't know. Definitely pick some SC acrylic up if you guys haven't yet. It's some pretty fun stuff. So, oops. Ocean died for the 5th, and people left en masse. Oh no. Gets the V4s in soon. Oh, which are the V4s? Okay, I see. So, we're just going to do a nice 90 bend here. I'm going to probably do it right on this end here somewhere. We don't have too far to go into these, and it's actually the same bend for both of them, so we'll be able to copy it, hopefully, after we get this first one. But if you ever bent tubing before, you use a heat gun. We got our 12 millimeter insert, and I just use low heat. I keep it right around, 2 to 3 inches. I try to keep it in above the tubing, or the tubing above the gun. And then I just sit here and I rotate it. As you can see, I'm using my fingers just to, you can use the insert to rotate it too if you want. I just find this pretty easy. And what I'll try to do always is heat up more than just, like I won't just hold it straight right here the whole time and spin it. I like to move back and forth just a little bit. Maybe only an inch or two, but that way you just make sure that you heat up the entire area that you need to bend. Otherwise, you can sometimes run into kinks and a little bit of warps and stuff like that. Nobody likes those, so I make sure to try to move it back and forth just a little bit to keep that from happening. So it does take a little bit longer with acrylic. If you've ever used PETG, you'll find PETG heats up quite a bit faster. But overall, the wait is worth it with acrylic, in my opinion. Thank goodness for PVCs. Thank you. Yes, dude, we did get Barrow. Thank you for checking that out. I've been trying to get my hands on more Barrow stuff lately. Haven't quite yet got this project to do, but there's definitely more Barrow stuff to come. I did order some Barrow blocks. I should get this Energy Series block that we just gave away to test, but I'll be using this test bench to actually do thermal performance on a bunch of different blocks, and Barrow will be in that lineup. So we're almost there, I think, on this tubing. It's pretty much bendable. You don't want to heat it too long as it will bubble. However, there is a little bit of room for error there, and you can heat it up a good bit. I really don't want this heat gun to burn anything, and we're running out of time. So all I'm going to do is actually use the edge of the case here to make sure I'm getting a proper 90-degree angle. Usually I just use like a metal square, like a woodworking square, but any 90-degree angle works, and that's really all you need to make a 90-degree bend, in all honesty. You can get a mandrel, and it is kind of nice. However, this works just as well, and it was pretty much free since I was going to use the case anyways. So we definitely have some length to cut down, however that's okay. Rather not just waste a tube on a crap bend that wasn't going to work. So acrylic usually does cool down a lot quicker, and it hardens up a lot faster than PETG, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to still dip a little bit of water on it, but overall, pretty easy stuff. there's a 90-degree bend for you. The light's not the best for this right now, but there's really no issues with it that I can see. I think I'm happy with it, and that's all that matters. So all we'll have to do next is just cut it down. Maybe I'll bend one more tube. This tube, obviously, the excess that we cut off it won't be usable for anything else. So I'll leave that there and grab another tube from the bag here and bend another one. We can honestly just bend all 490s right now if you want me to. It is only 4 tubing runs total. In the back, there is actually quite a bit more hard tubing. There will be more bending, but I just kind of wanted to give you guys a basic rundown of how to work with acrylic tubing. I know a bunch of you guys ordered stuff over the weekend for your loops. If you guys are using hard tube or acrylic or whatever, I figured this may be a useful little stream for you. So we got our insert in, and we'll begin heating once again. Feel free to ask any questions. Cute. What is cute? Of Matt buying comes from his own moderators. 90%. I don't know if it's 90%, but I thank everybody for their support. We do appreciate it. And if you order over the weekend, I'm sorry if it takes a little bit to get out. We had a bunch of orders, so we're doing our best to get everything out as fast as possible. And as far as the giveaway items go, if you want anything from our Gleam giveaways, or if you win anything tonight, I apologize if it takes us a day or two to get it out to you, as we are just kind of slammed right now, and we're still playing catch up. I'm sure tomorrow we'll be able to get mostly caught up, hopefully, I would think. Support. It is, man. You guys buy my nuggets. Thank you. Why isn't the picture on the left full of beer? I know, right, dude? I did just straight up, I've had that pitcher for water cooling forever now. I bought it at Walmart because I needed something to hold water. And that nice beer pitcher was perfect and in the budget. However, it would be a lot cooler if it had beer in it. We're over here nagging him and it calls it support. When you buy things, it supports. I appreciate that. But I'm always happy to support my customers, whatever you guys may need. If you guys got questions about your orders, questions for future orders, whatever you want to do, shoot me an email, jump in our Discord server, hop on our Facebook page. Really, whatever you want to do, we're kind of always watching, so at least try to be. Just let us know what we can do. This tube's almost ready to go too here. It's probably ready to go right now. I just want to be sure we don't run into any issues. And let me get you a better close-up of what I'm doing here. Hopefully. Before this tube cools off. Oh boy, we gotta go quick. Oh no, I hit the camera. Okay, we're still good. I barely put that bend in the right spot. We're hitting the radiator over there. But if you guys can tell, I'm just using the 90-degree angle in the case as my guide. And I'm not compressing the tube in any way, shape, or form. I'm just holding it here, and we're going to blow on it a little bit, help it cool down, give her a little bit of time. But it's a pretty easy way to get an accurate 90-degree bend. If you have a corner on your table that you're using, that works. As I said, just a contractor square, the woodworking square is ideal as well. Those are cheap. Or you can buy a mandrel kit from us if you'd really like. I have one, and it is very nice. I don't know, it's pretty easy when you're doing 90s to not use a mandrel. As you can see, once again, good bend. And we'll have to cut this tube down. I do actually believe we can reuse this end. So as you can see, we definitely won't need that much length. So I suppose I'll show you guys how I cut and finish these tubes now. So we'll get both of these done real quick here. I'll cut this one first, and then we can cut this one specifically to the proper length once we figure this out. So one tip for cutting this acrylic tubing, if you're going to use, what we're going to use tonight is a moto saw. Dremel moto saw, it's just a scroll saw. If you have a scroll saw or a jigsaw, any electric saw really, you're going to cut it with that. Put some put some tape around the tubing, not only to help you draw your line where you want to cut it, but it also helps keep the plastic from melting. I found quite a bit with the Dremel moto saw. If you just cut the tubing bare like that, it'll just actually melt back together pretty quickly actually, so it's kind of frustrating to deal with sometimes, and it leaves for more cleaning up on the ends, whereas if you just put a little tape around it, it cuts nice and clean. So that's what we're going to be doing here. All I'm going to, hopefully not kick the camera around too much, but I can show you guys kind of how I'm going to measure this up. It's pretty simple stuff actually. I'm just going to put this guy next to fitting, and I need to get my tape in the right spot, so I'm going to go right about here. So first we're going to put a piece of tape around it. It's not hard, hopefully. So there you have it, tape around it. And with that, I can get out my handy dandy marker. And I'm just going to hold it right here next to the pass-through fitting. And hopefully I get pretty close here. I mean, where I could lay it down technically. I mean, I have the line drawn right here where I cut it, or not cut it, but drilled the holes. So I can use that for a reference as well. Really anything you can do to have a reference on where you need to cut your tube is pretty useful. Or you can sit here and measure it out if you're really so inclined. Totally up to you. I gotta make sure that this is at a 90-degree angle too still. That is key. And then you'll want to cut it off right about there, I believe. So if it's a little too long, that's okay. You can always cut it down again. I'm gonna actually mute the microphone for the cutting part. I'll show you guys what I'm doing, but the moto saw is kind of loud, so I'll just do it for your ears' sake. No safety glasses. No, there's not much shrapnel in this. I was wearing safety glasses earlier when I was cutting this case up, though, just to let you know. But yeah, so the moto saw, it is, the only tough part about it is that you do have to make sure you keep it straight when you're cutting it. Otherwise, you're going to have some more work to do as far as sanding and reaming it goes. But then I just peel off the tape here. We could use that later. And just one of these handy dandy reaming tools. Usually works enough if you don't like how much of a chamfer or just rounded edge you get on it with the reaming tool. I do use sandpaper sometimes. I've got a little orbital sander that I'll use, which works pretty slick, but lately I've just been hand reaming it. It is kind of annoying sound, but yeah. OSHA in the back pocket on this stream. I don't have any ladders to climb, so it's really not too bad. Ladders are where OSHA has a lot of fun. Okay, so it's pretty good. I'd rather hear the saw. I mean, I can get out the sander if you guys want, but that's not too bad. As far as that goes, I believe that should be the right length, and we can push it in here. And it does line up with the line still. So we're good to go there. Now we just got to get the height. That, I suppose, I'll just measure out, as it's not too bad to measure some things. You don't have to eyeball it all. Oops. I got a quick kick in the camera. You guys got to be sick by now. I'm sorry. We'll do the other giveaway soon here. Soon enough, at least. I guess this is still slightly hard to measure just because I can finagle this down there. No, I have a different measuring tool that I could possibly use. It's always nice to have multiple measuring devices around the shop. You can find them, that is. I guess I left it out. Did I leave it out? Does anybody see my little ruler? It's actually my iFixit one. Oops, he's gone down. I don't see it. So we'll approximate. We should be able to see it pretty well from this angle here. We're looking at 5 3/8 inches to the top of the bend. So I measured to the top of the fitting because I can easily measure the top of the tubing. So it should be about 5 3/8 inches. I'm actually probably going to cut it a little bit long because I'd rather not have to do this again and waste some of Daniel's beautiful tubing. So we got to put the tape right about here, and we'll actually measure it more specifically in a second here. So tape right there. Oh boy, I'm not quite getting it long enough every time I miss it by a little bit, but it's good enough. It's enough tape. So actually, the contractor square, or woodworking square, is actually a pretty ideal tool to use for measuring this now. So you just line up the tube with the top of the square there, and you can measure down on this side right here. And we can get 5 3/8 inches pretty easy, although I think I'm going to go 5 1/2 just to be safe. And we'll be able to tell right away if it's too long. So 5 1/2 is right here. Maybe we'll cut on the inside of that, so it'll be close. But I'll mute really quick while we cut. And there you go. Okay, so got the other end cut here, and I'm just actually gonna examine it real quick. And she is a hair too tall because it's actually gonna be sitting up right about there. So I'm gonna go ahead and just cut it really quick one more time. I'll just mute really quick, and you'll see me again. So I'm just gonna cut off maybe an 1/8 to 1/4 inch here. Okay, so we got that. A miter saw. You could use a miter saw. I've just always had this scroll saw, and it works for cutting tubing quick. Otherwise, you can use a hacksaw and a guide, a nice little hand saw. Because I actually didn't do it that straight that time. So if you don't cut your tubing perfectly straight, which can happen with a hacksaw and guide even, what you gotta do is you gotta bust out your sandpaper or your sander, or if you have a file, and just take it nice and slow, and we'll just sand this bad boy down a little bit so she's nice and flat. hopefully that was loud enough for you. If you couldn't hear it, you can always turn up the volume. But as you can see, I used the sander to also chamfer it, and now we've got a nice finished tube that hopefully fits. So I think I'll start by putting it in the reservoir top. Oh boy. So actually, I should be able to use the reservoir top since it rotates. Maybe this is tough. It's a tight space, sort of. I believe that's fully seated. Now, should get it into the reservoir. Oh boy, that's nice. It's a good fit. Now I'm mucked up this nice clean top with my fingers. There we go. So, I'll get you guys a good angle here. It's pretty. I think I cut it perfect. So we're going to have to copy that length for the other one. But, let me get you moved over here. There you go. So, there you have it. Look more directly at it. It's pretty straight, as far as I can tell. Nice rigid tube. There you go. It's kind of all there is to it. So all we're going to do now is we can take this tube and we can copy this tube exactly, and it's going to fit the same way up there as the pass-through's in the same position. So kind of convenient that I did it like that, almost like I planned it. But before we get that far along the road here, what I want to do is the other giveaway. So this is for a Barrow GPU block. It is for the 2080. So this is me another trivia question. It might catch you off guard here. It's pretty simple. So I'm looking for kind of two specific phrases. Answer it in either chat that you're in, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, whatever you want to do. Yes, Alien can blend, I think, something. It is the Core P5 from Thermaltake. So let's get on to the trivia question. As I said, first one I answer is going to win. And here goes. What GPUs does the Barrow block fit? The Barrow 2080 block. It's pretty easy. I hope you can say it or get it. 2080. You can't, like, what kind of 2080s? All of them. FE editions. There you go. Warboy got it right away. But that's what I was looking for. FE or reference design would have worked. I just wanted to do those trivia questions tonight because I figured if you guys are winning these blocks, I would hope you know what the hell they're compatible with. So now that you know, I am assured that if you get this, well, you guys did win them, you won't muck it up. So good job, Mr. Warboy. John, you can message me or whatever. It's just the Barrow 2080 block. You can look it up. I believe it's RGB. I'm not for sure. I'm Team Red. I was just trolling. Thank you, everybody, though, that did answer FE or reference. I appreciate it. It took way less time than the Intel block did. So, let me see here. What do we got going on? I will actually be streaming more of this week. I believe I have plenty more to do. There's a bunch going on in the back. I guess I can close the stream off with kind of explaining the rest of this build and letting you guys head on out. I do appreciate everyone stopping in. Check out in the description of the video our Cyber Monday deals, as they are still going on until midnight Eastern time tonight. So if you need some water cooling parts, definitely check us out. We've got a coupon code, bunch of stuff on sale. There's really a whole bunch of money to be saved, and today is the last day for it. So don't miss out, guys. Ooh, that was nice. So let me stand this bad boy up again. Oh man, that tube sure does just look beautiful. I like that. So thank you guys for the help tonight. Everybody who tuned in. Like I said, we'll be streaming more on this, but I'll get to the backside now. So you might be wondering why there's a gigantic mess. Well, this cable mess is the front I/O. But there's a bunch of electric ball valves. We got a bunch of 3-ways and everything, as I'm actually setting this up as I always intended my bench to be. And I've got these valves in here so I can hook them up to switches. that will actually shut off flow to the radiators. However, the 3 ways divert the flow out the back of the case. I have some quick disconnect bulkhead fittings that will go out the back here, so I can hook up another radiator externally, and with that I can test it. I'll have like an Aquaro in here, those are Aquabus D5s, so you can measure flow rates, everything like that, the resistance of the radiator, obviously performance and all that good stuff. Blocks and stuff are easy to test as well. So overall, it's a pretty fun bench. It'll give us a lot of stuff to do. I can get you guys a lot more content, maybe some more blog type material on just performance of things. However, it's probably going to take the rest of the week to finish up at least. I would think about then, maybe next week we'll have it done. And I got a bunch of blocks lined up. Watercool sent over a CPU block, so we'll be testing that among a bunch of other blocks. Thermaltake gave me one of their CPU blocks, so we have a huge lineup, lots coming. Need to find CAD of like D5 potent coolers to machine a custom one. If you use Autodesk, I believe, or is it Inventor? One of the two I know, whichever one I was using last, has like